Hello. Hey, so this is a day in my life, and also I'll be trying a coffee, an iced coffee taste test. So we're basically just testing to see how it tastes like. And I tried it from this local place called Donut Inn, which I was a barista at for like just like a month or so. So it's really good. I'm gonna try it now and then tell you what I like about it. Um, and first, like, presentation-wise, I'd give it, like, a 6 out of 10 presentation-wise, just because I know this is recyclable, so that's really good, but the straw isn't, so I put a minus on that, but other than that, I would give it a 6 for presentation-wise, and the coffee is nice and clear, and I know how they make their coffee really good in store, so it's all, like, made fresh every single day, so this should be good. Okay, so it has, like, a kind of slightly bitter, taste to it. It's called Sinfully Nutty, and it's an iced coffee, from this local shop, and it tastes really good. It has, like, a kind of bitter flavor, but overall, it's really good tasting, and it's nice and smooth consistency. And honestly, if I was to go, like, out with my friends and get coffee, that's the place I'd wanna go is Donut Inn, and they're local around me, so, like, there's not that many nearby, but it'd almost be like if you thought of your local places near you, it'd kinda be similar to that, but I did work there for about a month, and their coffee is so good, honestly, like, in the back, we put, like, gloves on and make all the like different kinds of coffees and put the filters in the different filter cases and then those get sorted out and then there's this huge vat of iced coffee in the back, so if you're ever like wondering what it looks like to work in the back of a coffee shop, there's like tons of coffee, just that we have to basically that comes in raw and we have to like process it and everything like that. And then there's always getting shipments of milk and other things. So it's really fun working at a place like that. It's super fun working at a place like that. And then just like a day in my life, this is live right now. So I basically just wanted to talk over like what a day in my life is like rather than showing you all because that's going to be another video that I do. So, pretty much a day of my life, I wake up, I go for a run, and then after I go for a run, I like to meditate for a little while because I feel like meditation is a really good tool to help clear the mind and like release any toxins from the body and just kind of reset for the day ahead. So I like to meditate early in the morning, like really short, like 5 minutes. And 5 minutes is enough to get you in the zone and like focus because sometimes my attention span isn't longer than like is like the worst. So I like to focus at small increments like that or like 30-minute time blocks to kind of like it's called chunking where you like take a chunk of time and split it up into like 30-minute increments and then work on something for those 30 minutes and then you can move on from that so that you have a focus and that your thoughts stay streamlined pretty much for those that set amount of time. So when I'm doing the 5 minutes of meditation, the whole 5 minutes is solely focused on the meditation. Like there's not much else going on during it. So that's what I like to do early in the morning. And then after that, I either train legs or arms. And that's kind of what I do training in the morning, like exercise wise. So I like to train like legs or arms. And that's something that I've been doing for a while. So, like powerlifting, I'll do like deadlifts and squats, sometimes hip thrusts, and like other variations that I do in the morning. And then after that, pretty much I'll spend my time focused on like work and any tasks related to work. So I'm a certified yoga teacher, so I get like gigs a lot of the time, and I have to. So if you ever need like a custom yoga plan, just let me know, and I can send that through email, but to you. So it's super easy to just send the messages now that everything is like pretty much online. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a struggle bus as like making money as a yoga teacher, but I do have like other things that I do. I am a physical therapist aide, so that means that I assist the physical therapist, the doctor, um, with physical therapy. So I went to school for that originally to get my doctorate in physical therapy. So I got accepted into the program to get my and then I went into the program and I was like, this is like $200,000 just to get my doctorate. So I was like, I can't afford this at this time. I was really young at the time. So I left to work like part time. And that's pretty much where I'm at right now. Um, and yeah, it's a really fun lifestyle that I have also because I'm a rock climber. So I like to spend some of my day rock climbing um, wherever I can go rock climbing. And sometimes it's difficult because there's a lot of different access issues. Like if some place has a lot of flora and fauna, you have to be careful of them. So that's important. And so, it says my connection is unstable, so we're gonna try reconnecting here, but I'm gonna keep it going because I wanted to, um, I'm going to be discussing basically the continuation of a day in my life. So a day in my life is really, if you can imagine, it's kind of busy from my life. So a day in my life is really, if you can imagine, it's kind of busy from the get-go since I'm doing a lot of that physical activity, but it's manageable for me and I feel good when I do it. Um, and yeah, the rest of the day I pretty much spend on work. So from like the morning onward, I'm focused on work and work aspects and anything to do with like social media marketing, things like that, I'm on. Um, so that's something that is important to me is focus on work. And then I'm also applying to more jobs recently, so that's something that I've been busy doing. And yeah, I think that my lifestyle is just really like free spirited, and that's kind of how I like to be. Um, like I always wanted to like just live in the woods in a cabin somewhere, so it's kind of nice. Um, but yeah, I feel like it would be helpful if I lived in like a smaller place, just because for me personally, that would help a lot. So yeah, that's pretty much a day in my life, and I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk about a day in my life. But it's not over yet. That's pretty much like only a part of my day. So at nighttime, I like to focus on self care. So self care is really big for me as a yoga teacher. I'm spending all my time pretty much throughout the day, the thoughts are always going through my head like, "Oh, would this be a good pose to let clients in on or to do with clients? Is this not a good pose to do? How does the pose look like? What are some benefits of yoga?" Other things like that. And a lot of benefits to yoga are like it focused on meditation, deep breathing. It's a great thing to do for self-care and to rejuvenate the mind and body and also the spirit as well. And what I mean by spirit is like connecting to your true self and like what feels like authentically you. Like nobody else has your body and has the same pains in their body that you might have. Nobody else has to stretch the same muscles you do. So it's definitely something that's unique and catered towards individuals, and that's something I work with my company Rise with Mina, which is my yoga company. And through that, I've been able to help clients. I just started it really recently, so I've been able to help a few clients from the get go with yoga and with setting up yoga plans for them, teaching them yoga, and everything like that. So I am certified and registered yoga teacher under National Yoga Alliance. So this is part of my day is definitely a focus on getting these programs out to people. And it's been hard since everything like happened the past like 2 years with kind of getting back into the normal like swing of things with everyone getting being able to get vaccinated. So that's been really helpful because I feel like things will start to get back to normal once that all happens. So that's been a plus of 2021 is everyone getting vaccinations. I feel like from my background with healthcare, that's something that's really important to me is that everybody has access to it and that it's like reasonably priced at least. Like I think that there should be rules that dictate like how how much money a person is made to spend on healthcare. Like I think that free healthcare would be something that um, I would support just because it's so expensive. Anyways, so moving on from that topic about my work, I'm currently looking for another job because the past jobs, as I said, my part-time jobs didn't really pay for me to like I could support myself for a while, but it just got too expensive to be living on my own. And I never rented with anybody. Like I moved to my own place and I was just like chilling with myself by myself at this place at my home. So that was really nice, but it was pretty expensive. So I um was really grinding for a while there and it just like got to me like how much pressure what it was to like be working and consistently having to work and pay and go to 9 to 5 even longer than that like 11 shifts just to pay for like rent and it was all going towards rent pretty much. um so like I didn't have enough to like and these are things you learn because like budgeting is a thing, but I there wasn't really many options in terms of rent in the area that was close to my work. So I only had a few options and like of course I had like money left over to support myself for food and things, but it was really difficult. And that's one of the reasons I decided that I have to move back home for a while until I'm able to um like feed myself and pay rent at the same time because paying rent pretty much took up like the majority of um, the money that I had coming in. So that was, and I was really living in a really safe and beautiful area. So I wasn't willing to give up like my safety in order to pay less, which would have helped with like the meals and things like that. So that's when people ask like, "Oh, do you feel like bad about still about having to move back in?" I don't feel bad because I know what it's like to live on my own now, and I don't feel bad about it because I know like I was trying my best I possibly could and I still wasn't able to like make completely like the best world for myself. Of course, I didn't have some of the side gigs I do now, but which would have been helpful. But yeah, I also, of course, there's like car payments, which I was making as well. And a new thing with my car was a really old car, so it had a lot of miles on it. Had to sell that. So pretty much where I am right now is just figuring out my next steps. And that's something transition times are always a really difficult time because I was so used to like having everything like before this whole pandemic started, I was used to having everything like so easily within my reach, and now it's just very different. But um, I feel like I'm doing okay, and I'm proud of what I've come to terms with in terms of my education and schooling. There was some things they wanted us to do in school that, like, in order to further my education, I'd have to, like, perform autopsies and things like that, and I just wasn't ready to perform, like, do science on, like, another human being. Like, dissecting and things like that. Like, I was not about that life. Like, I'm not about that life, and I'm a vegan also, so I was like, "No way am I gonna," like, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do those labs. Um, and there might be someone out there who doesn't care about, like, other human beings, but that's not me. So, I really care, and that's the reason that I'm a yoga teacher, because there's not I thought about it and I was like, there's not so many people out there, like, really helping people, like, really helping with, like, the emotional and physical aspects that kind of can weigh us down and get to us, and I was like, what better way to help people than to be a yoga teacher and to perform, like, in an industry that allows the person to, like, calm down and calm their body and their mind down. So I think that that's a really important aspect of self-care, and that's all, like, kind of in, um, to a T in how I spend my day and a day in my life, because I spend my a day in my life thinking about these things. Um, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. In terms of work, so I have, like, these side gigs, and then I talked about PT Aid, which I did an internship for like 3 months, and that was really insightful because I got to work alongside a physical therapist, so that was really helpful. But they recently hired new PT aides there, so I couldn't get a job there, so I'm looking really fervently for a job, but I live in the middle of nowhere kind of, so it's hard to, like, get to work and, like, get to a job. So, that's kind of like an interesting factoid about me. I hope you've enjoyed my discussion so far about a day in my life. I really want to talk more about the self-care aspect. And of course, normally people, like, show you products and things like that, but I don't really like doing like, I've had sponsors before, and you really have to be careful about, like, the sponsors you choose, because I don't want it to be just a random one. Like, I really care about my followers, my, like, subscribers and everything like that. So hit that subscribe button and also hit that like button at the end of this video so you can really help me out. Um, and I really appreciate it. You could be my first subscriber because I just started this channel. And that would mean a lot to me. So, yeah, I you get to see little updates. I never spam, I never do anything like that. And um, stay tuned for other, like, fun videos that have to do with, like, I'll probably do a haul, other things like that. More what did I eat in a days. And this coffee is so good. I wish I could share it with you, but sanitation, maybe buy your coffee. Anyways, so this has been, like, YouTube I love because it's just so helpful to, like, get your thoughts out there and discuss, like, hot topics and things like that. And what better hot topic than, like, what's more trendy than a day in my life? Like, anyone could talk about it and it's trending because it's on the moment. Exactly. Like, a day in your life is consistently, like, an updated thing. Um, and I know some people's routines day to day are, like, very structured and rigid. Mine are definitely have some structure in the beginning of the day. Like I said, I do take time to meditate, go for a run in the beginning of the day, and then the rest of the day, and then have training, and then the rest of the day is blocks of time for like work and things like that. But for work, it's kind of like a long process. It doesn't just take 30 minutes for work. Um, but if I'm like sending an email, something like that, it of course takes a shorter amount of time. But work as a whole takes takes work. Work takes work. So, um, and I'm trying to think of the self care that I really was preparing to talk about was that I use this thing called a gua sha. And what a gua sha is so an it's a device that you use to kind of contour your face, but it's not makeup. It's just like a tool that you use to kind of just push out and drain the lymphatic system in your face. So when it's draining the lymphatic system, it opens up your lymph nodes so that not your lymph nodes, it opens up your lymphatic system so all that can drain out and it really like drains out any toxins in your face. And I like to do that. It really helps with puffiness because you might have heard of a jade roller. It's similar to that where when you push it, you only want to go in one direction, like with the grain. You don't want to go against the grain back and forth. So if you're using a gua sha or a jade roller, mine specifically is like a type of crystal, and you just massage it along one side of your face, and it's really cold. Like the crystal, it's like a rock material or quartz. I would say it's quartz actually. That's what it looks like, but it's not jade. And the rock itself is so smooth and cold that it just feels so nice on your face. And I'm a rock climber, so it's kind of interesting that you'd use like a rock on your face, but it's smooth. It's completely smooth. There's no like jagged edges on it. Of course, you never want to break something and then use it on your face, but those can break pretty easily. But you just got to be just inspect it before you use it. Just like any climbing gear, you'd always inspect your climbing gear before you use it. 2 years on a harness. If you've had a rock climbing harness, fun fact, for over 2 years, you have to retire it because those things wear through faster than you would think. Unfortunately, um, yeah, I've seen harnesses break and like only been holding on by a thread before. That happened to one of my best friends, and the company was a pretty good, well perceived company. Like everybody thought that their products were pretty good, but I guess she had bought one of their products that weren't like as expensive or not as quality, like didn't have as good quality. And so, or like she got hers on sale or something weird like that. Or well, it's not weird to get something on sale, but she got her harness and it was cheaper than normal, and look what happened. Her harness like snapped, and oh my god, I was so thankful that she like survived. And because yeah, that was like the scariest thing to have happen because she took a fall and then it like yeah, she took a whip, which means she climbed to the top and then went down. But yeah, this kind of I kind of went on a tangent there, but everything with self-care, do your double checks, inspect things. Like you can inspect things. It's not being nosy. It's just inspecting, making sure everything is working properly. Um, is an important thing to do, and you have to be careful with that as well. Um, yeah, and another thing that I like to do in a day in my life is to kind of relax at the end of the day, and I like to do yoga or some form of movement at the end of the day. Typically, if I'm feeling exhausted, then I won't do it. But if I feel like I have enough energy, then I will do the yoga. Um, Again, when I was like living on my own, like I didn't have that much energy. I'm gonna just say it like right now, because every single aspect of my day was dedicated towards like taking care of myself, washing my laundry, like which I do all the time, but like it was in a different location. So everything is just kind of when you move, everything is just kind of thrown out of whack, thrown out of place. And so you just kind of got to relearn. So I definitely didn't have enough energy to do that. And also, my room was relatively small, but I try my best. And so I like to do like yoga for relaxing or some sort of yoga at nighttime. And it just depends on how I feel. Um, I like the problem that I have with like deciding whether or not I want to do yoga is sometimes I feel really motivated and other times I feel and I have a coaching background. I coached for Team USA climbing. So I'm very interesting in this regard because I don't like none of my nothing that identifies me is very mainstream. Like I know that sounds kind of hipster to say, but it's like I'm literally nothing that I've done in the past is very mainstream. Like I can't. I just don't follow that that line of thinking because I know that there's the path less traveled is more worthwhile at the end of the day. Um, but there's nothing wrong with accidentally being in the mainstream because everybody winds up there at some point or the other. Like it's just what happens when we're a community of like people. We just there isn't like certain mainstream that we all follow, but of course like some people like just can't take the mainstream and so that's kind of where I'm at is I follow rules but I don't like I follow rules but I'm not mainstream. Does that make any sense? I hope it makes sense. Like I'm I don't know. So I'm different, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But it's fine. Like, another different thing about me is that one of my eyes, well, I have a couple fun facts about me, which has to do with the day in my life because these are things that I have to take into consideration every single day. And that is like that my eyes change color. So some days they're like the color of my jacket right here. Other days they're gray. Some days they'll be green. Some days they'll be like a lilac purpley color. So my eyes do change color, and this isn't the best lighting right now, but um, the ceiling is soundproof, and we have like soundproof thing around so that it's a studio kind of sound. So no like sounds will escape when I'm like filming. Um, and I'm really grateful for that, and I think like the eye thing is just interesting. Like I don't know, that's just like something interesting about me. I'm also ambidextrous, so I use both my hands equally, the same amount. So like I'll be doing stuff, moving stuff around with my left hand. Is typically what I do. Like if I'm moving stuff around, grab this drink it with my left hand, tap my phone with my left hand, like keyboard, not really any different. The only reason I think that I like using my right hand is when you're writing in a notebook and like this is a day-to-day thing. Like if I'm writing in my journal or if I'm journaling or planning something for the next day or for work appointments, whatever it is in my planner, um, which is hopefully I'm hoping I can find a planner that's made out of like recycled materials or like
It's
eco-friendly.
7 o'clock.
It's 7 o'clock. Sorry, that's oh, I speak Chinese. That's a fun fact about me. Chinese, German. German is more fluent than Chinese. I don't speak Chinese fluently. That's why I'm learning. Um, but I speak German fluently and Spanish as well as English. So those are some fun facts about me. And they pertain to my everyday life because when I'm looking at something, thoughts go through my head like when I see a link, like I see that this says live right now, and it shows the time next to it that I've been streaming for. And so different things go through my head with like Leben and stuff like that, which is German for life, and like just different thoughts of like when I look at a word, I think of it in multiple languages, if that makes any sense. Like I'm not just thinking I think they call it like bilingual. I don't know if it's called trilingual, but I'm definitely bilingual by this point. And like I've had a past relationship where he spoke completely like Spanish, so I had to know Spanish. And luckily, I had taken Spanish in school since elementary, since like second grade. So maybe even sooner than that because Dora the Explorer. But like, but seriously, I took Spanish in school and I took it very seriously. I also took Chinese very seriously when I took it in school. So that helped me a lot with being able to speak it. But German, my family is German. My name is Wilhelmina, not just Mina. So um, it's spelled with a W, but nobody like knows how to spell it. Like everyone just thinks it's Wilhelmina, but it's not. It's Wilhelmina. And actually, I got so tired of people making fun of my name when I was younger that I just decided to go by Mina. So that's why you see it there now. I don't know if you've ever been to like a coffee shop and they spell your name wrong, but I just I couldn't deal with like the thought that people didn't want to spend the time of day to like get to know someone's name. So I work really hard to remember people's names, and even if I can't remember it, I try hard to like at least acknowledge them like as another person and as like a human being. So that's something I work hard to do. And at least like treat them kindly and try to treat them fairly because everybody has certain biases, um, which can be helpful in certain like social situations. Like a lot of people are biased towards people that look like them. So like for instance, I follow some people on YouTube that look similar to me, and then others don't look at all like me. But I think it helps because you notice like if they're talking about something, you're more able to pick up on what they're saying. It's almost talking about the bilingual thing. Like if I see another German person and they're talking and speaking in German, like I understand their facial expressions, like I understand their demeanor a little bit more than if they were speaking maybe like some other language that I'm not as familiar with. Um, so that's just definitely interesting to me. And it's something that's part of a day in my life because I am bilingual. So that's just how my brain works. Um, and I wonder, are you bilingual? You can, or do you speak any other languages? Do you like, I wonder um, what languages you speak and what language you like to speak the best. Um, I like, I, I like Spanish the best, I have to say, like out of all the languages that I know. But Chinese calligraphy is really cool. Like, I don't know if you've heard of pictograms before, but basically what they are, or like droidism, but pictograms are kind of a way of expressing different words, but they're like pictures. Like if you have a tree mu, which means wood in Chinese, it looks like this, like a T and then like that. So that means mu, and that's wood. And if you put them together, you get a forest. So isn't that cool? Like if you have multiple pieces of wood, it means forest. Like that just makes sense. But it can get so complicated that they've had to simplify the language. I learned Mandarin specifically. There's also Cantonese and a couple other there's multiple dialects, but um, so that's something that is cool to me to have learned. And it's very special. Like it's a very special language, Chinese. Um, and I feel proud that I know some of the language and that I've got to meet some people and speak to them in the language. So that's been very helpful. Another part of a day in my life, I know this is getting a little lengthy, but you know what? this is a live stream and I'm telling you about my life, and my life is 24 hours long. So this should be like every day. I mean, not just my singular life. Hopefully, you get to live longer than 24 hours. um, so, anyways, now that I talk about, yeah, I'm 24 hours old. Just kidding. I am more than that, but they I mean, you'd never know, right? Like, I could be a baby, just, I don't know, using CGI or something weird like that. No, but in all seriousness, um, my day is like 24 hours. Like they say, everybody has the same amount of time in the day as Beyonce does. So that's really true. Like, I like to think of that and like, oh my gosh. So that is something really cool to think about. Like, she's such an idol and everything. Like, just perfect. So that's pretty much a day in my life. And then for my bedtime routine, I'll do the yoga or like um, meditation to calm down before I go into bed. It just helps reset my body on both sides. I'm really big into like antagonist training. So that basically means think of all the muscles you normally work when you train or you work out. It's going to be basically working the antagonists. So whatever muscles you work, you got to make up for that. So with rock climbing, you do a lot of pulling. So now we have to do a lot of pushing. Like you have pull days, you have push days. It's like that. So do a lot of push ups, or not even push ups, like chaturanga dandasana, which is what you do in yoga when you go down and do like a cobra into up dog. So those are just facts on why I like to calm my body down before bed. Um, yeah, it's just I like telling people about like the benefits of yoga because it can help you. Like it really helps me. It helped me get over a really rough breakup, and like I literally was so depressed. I didn't want to get out of bed. So yoga really helped me like transform my life, pull my life around, um, get my life back on track from like after that whole scenario. So that's just something about me. But I've moved on a little bit, and yeah, now we're just like friends. But um, which I think is really good of me to be friends with them. Like I don't have to be, but I am. Um, so I think that like talking has been really helpful. So thank you for listening in. It means a lot to me um, to have someone like watching. And yeah, I love talking to you, like an audience, and love talking to you guys. Um, and it's just really cool to have this platform to be able to talk to other people. Um, oh, I also spend a lot of time on Instagram as an influencer. I do have an influencer page. It's called Rock Climbing Probs, ROCKCLIMBINGPROBS. And it's a meme page. I started in 2013. I don't know when the first memes came out, but the first climbing memes came out in 2013 when I started the page, Rock Climbing Props. And it's basically all dedicated to rock climbing, comedy, and community. So that's what Rock Climbing Props is. And through that, I've been able to provide people with a pro shop online, links to a pro shop, so they can go online and get any pro gear that they need, like any gear that they need that's recommended by climbers and reviewed by Amazon as well. So, like, I have an Amazon site that you can just go on, click, and scroll through, and you can get PPE, personal protective equipment, like masks. You can get harnesses, chalk bags, chalk, um, rock climbing recovery, so, like, little rings for your fingers that massage each finger individually, which can be awesome even if you're not a rock climber. All these things are great. I have, like, knee bolsters that you put under your knees when you wanna relax in savasana, which is corpse pose, when you just lie down on the ground flat, and you put this bolster under your knees so it can support and so you don't hyperextend anything. Um, and then I have, like, neck pillows, which helps with spinal alignment because there's neutral ligaments in the back of your neck that not a lot of people know about, and you gotta protect those and all the muscles around your spine, which is really key. Like, your spine is so much more fragile than people make it out to be. Like, it you have to be so you have to take so much care and loving care of your spine. Like, you don't want to do women aren't meant to twist like back and forth, which is something I learned in PT school. They're supposed to move like side to side. That's why like the hips thing is like big with women. Um, Whereas men, their bodies, anatomically speaking, are meant to like twist side to side. So I'm really proud of what I've done at an influencer base. The best thing that I ever did in my like whole life was I protected our national lands by passing legislator that protects Red Rocks National Park. I had to get over 20,000 signatures, and to do that, I used Rock Climbing Probs platform that I had developed in 2013. So we now have Red Rocks protected from being built up, which people might be like, what's the problem with one more building being built up? Well, look around, there's not much open land left. So I'm very proud of what I've been able to like. To me, that just means that like, even though I only had like 30,000 followers, that is still enough to make a difference in the world. And like, I can't even imagine if I had like some more followers than that, but everyone's very like, I love my followers so much on Instagram and my other platforms, just so much. I'm not going to talk about them. So if you want to join, go on to at Rock Climbing Props, head over to Instagram and click that follow button. Even if you follow, like I don't spam, I don't do anything like that, and you get to see updates and memes. So go follow Rock Climbing Probs on Instagram. It should pop up pretty soon up there, and just follow. And I think it has a picture of a tree right now that I took in one of the Shawangunk Mountains, which is like an area for rock climbing, and I just looked up and took a picture of a tree. So that's the profile picture right now. It used to be like really professional looking, but I changed it to a tree because I thought that there should be a push towards like environmentally friendly movements. So I did like a whole thing on that. We had like a hashtag for lower greenhouse gas emissions where like you try to walk everywhere for like a month instead of driving your car, stuff like that. So that has been something that I've been working hard on since 2013. And it would have kept going up in the amount of followers if I didn't, like, I know it would have gotten bigger if I didn't choose to go to college, but I had to go to college, and so I went. But I kind of regret going to college. Yes and no. No, because like I was in a dorm, but yes, because the dorm was puny, 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 and I had to share it with a quad. So there was four other individuals, and two of the girls would go out and party, and I was like, I am not a partier. I don't drink at all. So I was like not about that life, and I'm still not about that life. So I kind of like was closer to the other girl that didn't drink. So that kept me like being able to focus on my studies when it would get really loud. I would just try to go in my zone, go to the gym, do something like that. But my campus was so spread out, like, I was so skinny at the time that I was in college because I had to walk everywhere, like, to classes, like, 20 minutes away. So you can imagine going to class at 8 in the morning, walking 20 minutes, then walking 20 minutes back, like, that's a lot of walking, like, yeah, and, like, they didn't really have vegan food there at the time. I was a vegetarian at the time, what am I saying? But they didn't have, like, vegetarian options, so we had to call the school and be like, "Can you at least get tofu or something? Because 'Cause we're paying, like, this much." I had a scholarship, it was still, like, $30,000 out of pocket to go to this school, and, like, I don't I didn't think that far ahead, like, if I save this money, maybe I can, like, get a tiny home or something like that, but, like, what can you do, you know? Like, parents aren't gonna be willing to help you out with, like, moving out. They're more likely to help you with education, but I had a, like, whole issue with that. I'm like, "Oh my god." Someone tried to steal my, like, I've had a couple people try to steal my money before, but, like, this whole thing, like, they hacked into my school loans account and, like, stole money from me. It was, like, a huge fiasco. So my time in school wasn't the best time that it could have been, like, but I loved my teachers, like, I love my teachers. Um, and then I taught for Yale climbing team at the time that I was in school, and that was really fun. Um, and love those kids, like, so many friends there that I just love. Um, and that's pretty much all for, like, what's been going on in my life and just an update on me. Yeah, this is Mina talking. Of course, my name's Mina, but I now you know I go by Mina, but my real name's Wilhelmina. And cool other fun fact, not to get too, like, um, not to talk about myself so much, but of course, like, I am a influencer, so I my job is to influence it. Like, it's not to pressure people, but it's to, like, that's not what it, that's why I don't like the name influencer so much. Like, I heard another YouTuber say something about, like, influencing, and I was like, "Wow, I really agree with that." But the term influencer, like, they were talking about the term influencer, and I've been rated as Influencer of the Year award back in 2017 on Instagram, but of course my account is, like, as I said, like, only 30,000 people, so we're a really niche community, which I love, like, love, love, love. So, yeah, please subscribe to my channel, please, please, please. I'd really appreciate it, and it'd mean a lot to me. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to that. And what else? The term influencer, it's like, this is really interesting doing this live with no edits because I can't make it more fancy than it is. It's really just raw and real, like, real. There's no um, like, I'm not attempting to, like, do anything with the psyche or anything like that. Like, this is really real, and there's no, like, um, no clickbait, nothing like that. So I really appreciate it, and that's why I love doing live streaming because sometimes the edits just don't feel like completely authentically me, if you know what I'm saying. Like, if I could create my own edits, like, things like the filters are fine because I can create my own filters. But, like, sometimes the editing just gets, like, it's personalized, but it's not necessarily. I never want to make someone feel a certain way that's not, like, connected with reality. That's what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, I never wanna make a person feel a certain way that's not correct, like, correct. to what's happening in the actual environment. So, like, I'm talking to you right now, I'm not, like, spinning around in a circle, but, um, which the edit would make it look like. But editing is definitely fun, and it can definitely make a video more exciting, like action movies and things like that. Like, there's nothing wrong with having, like, sound effects and fun stuff like that, I don't think. Um, but you have to be careful because you don't wanna get, like, anything wrong with, like, the sound or anything like that. So, that's pretty much that's a day in my life, and I hope you enjoyed watching. Um, I just wanted to touch on, like, my skincare routine and my nighttime routine. I don't have any pimples right now, thank God. My skin is a little drier than normal, but as I said, I like to use the gua sha and, like, I like to use moisturizers, but I don't have one that I found that I really like that works right now. So, I will be trying to figure out something that I can do that just kind of ties into the whole skincare routine. Like, I'm just trying to think of a moisturizer that I recommend, but I don't have any at the tip of my tongue. I like CeraVe lotion, like, very much. I love CeraVe because it's kind of unscented, it won't give you a headache, it's just unscented, very pleasant smell. Like, I'm big into plant-based things. Again, I'm a vegan, so I'm never gonna recommend you something that's not vegan. This, of course, have almond milk in it. You're wondering what this iced coffee is. Let me do an ASMR. This is a medium sinfully nutty iced coffee with almond milk. It really quenches the thirst. The thirst is real, right, guys? Anyways, um, that tastes really good. Tastes really good. I'm a huge coffee drinker, like, if you know me. And with rock climbing, like, my past jobs as Team USA sea coach, like, that job is just so important to me because, like, there's so many people that I care about there and, like, everything like that. But when I was driving home from work there, it was a commute, except for, well, either way, it was a commute. And I would have to get coffee and, like, buy it before work, and then I'd be at work for, like, hours, and then, like, save my coffee so I could drink it before going home because 'cause it'd be late at night, and I needed to stay up because coffee goes into your system 10 minutes within drinking it, and it lasts for 30 minutes. So, this I'm starting to feel the effects of this coffee now because 'cause it's been over 10 minutes. But that's a fun fact, like, it doesn't start for the first 10 minutes, and then you'll start feeling maybe you get a little jittery, but really it helps with alertness, so I drink that, um, once I got in my car immediately, so that once I'm driving, like, I have that because it was a long drive, like, I needed to be awake because it would get dark out, I'd start getting sleepy, like, oh my gosh, the struggle is real. Like, oh my gosh. And I just had this bougie looking car, like, so, like, again, like, I'm not very mainstream, so you can imagine what my car looked like. Just funny, but it was her name was Cayenne, and I named it after the Red Hot Chili Peppers band because Red Hot Chili Peppers and Cayenne. So, she was a red car, obviously, and their logo is red, and I just love their band, like, I went to see them in concert, spent a lot of money to have my ex go see it as well, but hopefully we enjoyed that time, together. Little fun fact, but, like, it was a fun experience, and, like, when we were together, we really enjoyed that time together. Like, I know, and if he says we didn't, then he's definitely lying, because that was an awesome experience, and the concert was amazing. Um, yeah, the concert was amazing, like, so cool, and yeah, that is my day in my life. I do skincare, I shower, and then I like to fluff up my pillows a little bit, get into bed, and relax with, like, Pinterest or a book. Like, I just like to chill out, and, like, sometimes I'll have to go on YouTube and watch, like, a YouTube video just to relax and chill down. YouTube is great for that because, it's really helpful, and it can make you feel at home, it can make you feel cozy, like, you can look up a certain video, and it'll make you feel, like, so cozy and warm and snuggled up like you're in a blanket with candles all around you and, like, an atmosphere with, like, a fireplace going in the background that's electric so you don't have to worry about your house burning down, and just, like, all fun things like that. So, I absolutely love YouTube. It's so fun. Um, and there's so many great people on YouTube too, like, such a good community. I love it. So, thank you so much for joining me today on a day in my life, and I look forward to doing a day in my life where I actually show you the things that I do. Like, you get to see, like, little snapshots of what I do in my life. So right now I'm just doing live streams because I feel like that's more authentically me, and I can get the most information out there when I just talk straight to the camera rather than, like, getting any distractions or anything like that. So that is something that I like to do, is snuggle up at night and read and then go on YouTube or read a book. But I like doing those things because it really brings me joy and sparks joy. I don't know if you've heard that joke before, but it really sparks joy and it makes me feel good and like I've accomplished something with my day. I like to um, really brainstorm before I go to bed a couple of good things that make me feel good. And this is something I've been forgetting to do recently, but it's really good to remember to do is before you go to bed, this is a tip, like a life tip and life hack actually, is before you go to bed, try to think of something positive or something that makes you feel good. And that you want to try to make that the last thought you have before you go to sleep so that your dreams are more positive. And it really, really works. I'm a lucid dreamer. And what that means is that in my dreams, I'm the main character, and it's like I'm walking within the dream. It is the coolest thing, but it's also really scary because it can feel like things are actually happening to you. Like the other day, I had someone, like, I'm telling the 100% truth. There would be no reason for me to not tell the truth, to be honest. Like, what, what would I be going on about? Like, I can only tell my truth because I don't have someone else's truth to talk about. Like, this is my truth. Like, I'm speaking my truth and my experience. Like, I don't know how to make up a story about someone that well. Um, when you're writing, of course, you can get creative, but you never see it from the main character's point of view because you're not that person. So you have to create something that makes it seem like you know what's going on. So, anyways, with these lucid dreams, like I felt someone tap me in the dream, but in real life, like I actually felt the tap on my foot, like someone patting me, like they're there. It was almost like they're there, like it's okay. And my gosh, the creepiest thing, like lucid dreaming is just so intense. And that is a day in my life because I've gone all the way up to dreaming. So I hope you appreciated that. Um, I could talk a little bit more about lucid dreaming just to end the video, and I think that it really sums up um, basically how I am and like a day in my life because even up to dreaming, like 24 hours go by and I'll be dreaming um, just about like people want to know about lucid dreaming because they want to know what do dreams look like. And I'll tell you, like, it's almost like I've had a lot of dreams where I'm stuck in a mansion and trying to escape and like I can't escape and there's all these doors. A lot of the times I'll be climbing in the dreams. Like the other day I had a dream that there was this vat of water underneath everything and on the two sides were columns like a well, so we couldn't escape out the bottom, and we didn't wanna fall because there was like a killer whale down there. So we were all trying to climb up on these masts, like sailboat masts, to try to escape from falling in the water, and it was the scariest thing, but since I'm a climber, I escaped, and, like, I always happen to have some plan in the dream where I can, like, escape somehow, but it's always like an escape room that I'm trying that's in my dream, or I'll have dreams that are really positive and happy dreams, like, I'll be meeting my friends and we get to go to the beach, like, kind of thing, and, like, something weird happens and, like, eh, I'll be having a conversation with them and then I wake up thinking it actually happened, or, like, I'll have a dream that I got a house or something like that, like a new house or, like, a mansion or, like, something really good happens in the dream, and then I wake up and it didn't happen, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, that was so real because I'm a lucid dreamer, like, it literally it's like I'm walking around in the day-to-day life, like, it's the weirdest thing. Um, so it's almost like I never sleep, but I'm dreaming, so I am in my bed, like, lying down. I don't sleepwalk, but that is a day in my life and me trying the Simply Nutty iced coffee with almond milk. I hope you enjoyed the little ASMR I did there and my talking spiel of what I do in a day. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Hit that subscribe button. Bye, guys.